was a sunny afternoon in June 1971. I was 5. It was my first impression of life. I know it was definitely my memory. I remember like it was yesterday. I know it wasn't passed down from a family story or some photograph. I was with my parents and one of my sisters, Peggy. Peggy's face, it was all fat and puffy. She was sleepy. She'd been at the dentist that morning. I immediately knew I did not like these dentist characters. So I sort of lost track of what happened to my parents and my sister after we walked into this sunny store. It was filled with glass and filled with sun. There were cars everywhere. And it was amazing. And there was this smell. It was an aroma. It was better than just after the grass was cut. Better than cookies just out of the oven. The sun had sparkled all over the cars, and all the front of the cars, they smiled at me. I walked into the next room, and it got even better. The room was enormous. I couldn't even see to the back of the wall. There were big garage doors to my back, and the ceiling, there were glass up there with light streaming in all over the cars, row after row. All the cars just lined up, one after another, with just enough room that you could walk in between each one. Now, I don't remember how long I wandered in there, but I do remember we didn't get the car I wanted, and oddly, I don't remember that crucial fact, but Daddy said we were getting a station wagon. I did approve of the blue. It was a Pontiac, and it looked like it had buck teeth, just like my sister. Down the shore is bleak in the wintertime. It's worse than home, I thought. There's no snow. It's windy, it's wet, it's gray. I did it with my chubby little hands, by the way. And there's no umbrellas, no awnings, there's no one outside, there's no music. It was 1972, and my Aunt Wally had just died. I remember my parents talking about whether I should actually go to the church or not, but there it was. I sat in this hard wooden pew, and I stared up at the sky, and I had plenty of time to form my first impression of death. I stared up at the sky, and obviously it wasn't really a sky, but it was a ceiling painted to look like a sky. And apparently Aunt Wally had flown up all by herself into these giant clouds. And I didn't see her, but she obviously must have done it before we got there. And I believe that she probably did. She was tiny, she was skinny. And she made it up to the very peak, the tippy top, the peak of the roof. There was a round hole, and there was a grate on it. And it looked gold. And heaven was just beyond it. And I figured, if I can see this, it's right there. So I could just visit her if I wanted to. So by 22, I'd had plenty of sex, believe it or not. Unfortunately, just not the sex that I really wanted. See, I was still worried about who I really was and what people would think if they really knew about me. And so I didn't know if I was gay. Maybe it's just a phase. And so what I thought was, well, once I really have it, I'll realize, wow, this just is not for me. I dodged a bullet. I'd wake up the next day, I'd be completely normal. I'd love football and playing football and watching football. And then I thought, Jesus Christ, it could be worse. It could be awesome. And I'd wake up the next day with a tongue so swollen, I'd forever have a lisp. I'd never run again. I'd only be able to skip. So it was a drunken, cheerful day in 1988 in Munich, Germany. His name was Jamie. He was from Mississippi. And yes, it was awesome. It was everything and nothing that I thought it would be. I would never see him again, but I hope one day I'll see him and hope to tell him, thank you for making me feel normal. Thank you.